Us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beebs likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
Tom Abraham back from my friend Ross Roberts at Valley Equipment Rental. It's springtime, so let's get that garden tilled with a tiller from Valley Equipment. And while you're at it, snag a power washer for the house and the driveway. And if you're putting in a sprinkler system, they have the small trencher that you need. And you can even rent a Skag zero-turn mower and much more to get your property in shape. Valley Equipment, not just for the contractor, but the homeowner as well. 2 locations on the North and South Parkway. Valley Equipment Rental. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
Flying nonstop from Huntsville is a breeze on Breeze Airways. They're nice people flying nice people to nice places on really nice planes. Let's be direct. Nonstop from Huntsville to the places you want to go. Las Vegas, Orlando, or Tampa starting at $49. It's time for a weekend getaway or a long overdue week away. Time to check in using the convenient Breeze app and check out. What are you waiting for? Book today at flybreeze.com. That's flybreeze.com. Breeze Airways. Seriously nice.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed the musty smell in your home? I hope not, because damp smells mean that you could have a crawl space problem. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your crawl space and get to the root cause of the problem. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. This hour is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll, and I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
And away we go here on a Tuesday. That is what day it is, right? It is a Tuesday. I'm telling you, these days are just meshing together. This is the off season, right? This is the off season.
We don't do it on the off season.
I was told that there would be breaks in this job, but evidently not.
It's just kneecaps.
Who told you that?
The only breaks are
the previous administration. But nonetheless, away we go. I watched a lot of hockey last night. I hope you did, because, boy.
You watch some hockey, eh?
Yes. So much hockey. That I ended up listening. I filled in on the morning show this morning. We talked no hockey this morning.
Of course.
So, because, I'm going to let Scott do his thing in the morning.
What'd y'all talk about?
Let Scott be Scott.
Talked a lot about the College World Series, and it's some nice stories there in the College World Series, well, especially with a program like Murray State making the College World Series. But I watched a lot of Game 3 last night of the Stanley Cup Final, and that thing turned into an all-out brawl.
Yeah, I watched the highlights of that. Yeah,
in the third period, so much so that Nolan Kaiser is going to join us here in this first hour. But we honestly, we dove in so much to the NCAA settlement agreement yesterday on the program. that it did make me want to get Dan Murphy on. And Dan is about to join us here in a couple of minutes just to get his perspective on from the story. But talking with other reporters, especially down at the SEC spring meetings, they had that story written for almost a month. But I wanted to get Dan's perspective on that in particular. In fact, speaking of Dan, he is just been given the thumbs up as Dan Murphy is indeed on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline and is kind enough to join us to kick off the program. How are you, Dan?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing real well. So how long had that story been written before you finally hit the send button there late Friday night?
It was definitely sitting in the drafts folder for a few weeks and had to be updated once or twice as we kept on waiting. And it's funny because it feels like everything happened really fast from one lens if you look at it over the last 10 years or so. But over the past couple months, it definitely has been dragging on for a while as we wait for official word about what's happening next in college sports.
So I know this encompassed quite a few lawsuits, but not all of the lawsuits. I know there's still a couple coming down the pike. Is there anything in terms of litigation that could be, fly in the ointment, for lack of a better term, in terms of what Judge Wilkin signed on Friday night, in your opinion, Dan?
There are more legal challenges left, certainly, and I think actually the settlement itself will spur even more lawsuits as people challenge some of the terms that were negotiated and whether or not those are legal. And the judge certainly left the door open for future legal challenges. He was really explicit with that, with what she wrote. This is the NCAA ceding some ground, certainly, in hopes of being able to then go to Congress and block those future lawsuits. But if you are a player or a lawyer, more likely a lawyer that represents a lot of players, the next fight is really whether or not college athletes should be employees of their school or should they be able to collectively bargain the same way that pro sports do.
There's a lot to unpack in what you just said right there.
Well, there's not really a lot to unpack.
Well,
I've been telling you that the whole time, right?
I know that, but I mean, from following college, I heard more than once down at the SEC spring meetings that sports is turning into politics and politics is turning into sports.
Yeah, I think that's fair, but in some way that's been the case, right? There's always some debate like this going on there. I spend a lot of time in courtrooms these days, so I tell you that much. There's more of that coming. As much of a major step this is for college sports, as we talked about, this certainly does not solve all of their problems.
So, why has so much been made of this? Like this is going to fix it, and I've been saying the whole time. There's just gonna be more people sue. I mean, they're gonna keep suing, and as long as the lawyers end up with a big portion of the money, why wouldn't they? Right? I mean, how much did the lawyer make in this case?
Well, boy, they made enough to so that their grandchildren aren't going to have to worry about working. I think this is.
But do you know the number, the actual number, though?
They haven't totally agreed upon that yet, but it will be in the tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars before all is said and done for the law firm.
Yeah, and so
$2.8 billion total suit. Yep.
Yeah. So
good.
Why wouldn't they keep suing? Right? It's like a lottery ticket. They're just buying a lottery ticket with better odds.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, they keep suing, and frankly, the NCAA keeps making rules that questionably violate federal law, right? So, like, if they're going to keep making those rules and keep trying to test the bounds of federal law, people are going to line up to sue them and try to make money off of them. And I think even Charlie Baker, the president of the NCAA, you talk to Greg Sankey, the SEC commissioner, a lot of the folks that are paying attention to this stuff really closely, the leaders of college sports, would have told you 6 months or a year ago that this wasn't going to solve all their problems. They were aware of that, but this is, in their mind, a really important step to say, listen, we've done what we can do. We are living in reality. We're paying these players because we realize that this is, at least in part, an entertainment business, and the players deserve a cut of that. But now we need help from Congress in order to keep this from being the chaotic mess that it's been for the past 4 or 5 years. So we've done our part. Now, Congress, please help us. And that's why this feels like such a big deal for a lot of people running college sports, because they now have a little bit of leverage to try to go stop the bleeding.
Do you think the Lamborghini dealers in Texas will sue the NCAA? Because basically they just took their deal away from it, Texas, right?
Yeah, potentially. Well, we'll find out, right? That's a big question of this. Is part of the terms of this lawsuit are that in the future, an NIL deal has to be for real fair market value. Basically, if you pay a player, it's got to be you got to be getting what you're paying for in terms of the endorsement that they're giving. It can't just be a thinly veiled way to get them to try to show up to your favorite school. There's still a lot of skepticism over whether or not the NCAA, well, it's not going to be the NCAA. There's a whole new organization that's been stood up overnight called the College Sports Commission that's going to be in charge of enforcing those rules. The NCAA was never able to successfully enforce that. And there's a lot of skepticism out there of whether this new group is going to have any more luck at stopping people from doing these kind of things that the NCAA wasn't able to stop them from doing.
Do you know much about Brian Seeley coming from Major League Baseball over to this College Sports Commission?
Working hard on learning more about him. Right now, we know he was he ran a lot of investigations for Major League Baseball. So before that, he was a federal prosecutor in Washington, D.C. So he's used to trying, and he did a lot of white collar crime. So a lot of tracing down paper trails and figuring out what's happened by sitting in the office and churning through big stacks of paper, which are skills that will probably come in handy as he's trying to sort through some of this stuff.
Right, a forensic accountant.
Yeah, a little bit of that, certainly a little bit of that. And with the interesting part about Major League Baseball is he had to pursue folks that were trying to find ways around the baseball salary cap and find tricky little loopholes, which is really what a lot of these college sports teams are going to be doing if they're trying to press into the gray area of these rules and push the envelope for how much they can give athletes. So, in terms of relevant experience, he has it. Whether or not he has the power to do anything with it, I think is the bigger open-ended question.
I talked to somebody today, it was a coach, and said, well, there's a hole, and they've already found a hole in the way the years kind of overlap or something like that.
Right now in the past few months, there's been a big hole where schools, if they got their deals signed and done and paid out before this settlement was finalized, none of that money counts. So we got a lot of players over the next couple of years who, let's say you sign a 2-year deal worth $2 million, the school's going to try to pay 1.5 or something like that right now. So none of that will count against your salary cap for the next 2 years if you already got it out the door into the player's bank account. And there will be more games like that played moving forward. There will be more people trying to find ways to justify spending over the cap. I talked to a couple of folks who said, yeah, athletic directors right now walk into one meeting and say, what are these new rules? How can we get them into place? We need new rules. And then they walk into the next meeting 10 minutes later and say, how do we find the loopholes in these new rules? How do we get around them? And that's the way the business is right now. It's the way it's been for a while. And unless that attitude changes, the NCAA and this new group can do whatever they want to try to slow people down. But if the people aren't willing to be governed, it's not going to make a difference. It's going to be the same chaotic stuff we've been dealing with the past few years.
Gosh. So sounds like you've got a lot of irons in the fire. What is next up on the hit parade in terms of following this story? What is the next stop for you, Dan Murphy?
Yeah, right in line with the questions you guys are asking. I want to know more about Brian Seeley and about how all this is going to work and whether they're going to be able to stop it. Certainly, I think it's going to be interesting to see how Title IX applies to any of this money and whether or not that it has to be shared equally or people are going to sue about the way that most of this money is going to flow to football and men's basketball.
Well, yeah.
It's going to be a big problem to fix. And
so how do they think they could get around Title IX? I'm sorry, but just right there, I've been saying that as well. It's just, I don't think there's any way around it.
Yeah, it's an open question right now. And I think, so Title IX basically says that you have to provide equal academic opportunities to men and women. And for a very long time, the government has said college sports count as an academic opportunity. The question, and so that's why you have to have the same number of scholarships and the same number of roster spots available. The open question is, do these payments also count as academic opportunity, or is this a totally different bucket where we're paying them to be part of a marketing business for the university? And depending on who you ask, you'll get a different answer. The schools are hoping that this is going to count as a different bucket and they'll be able to pay things out based on the revenue that each sport generates. But that's a question that ultimately will get answered in the courtroom. Somebody's going to file a lawsuit and some judge is going to have to decide how they feel about it.
We're soaking it up right now, Dan.
There's a lot. There's a lot. Yeah. And that's only one different name. There's a half a dozen things like that are all going to have to get sorted out here in the next couple of years.
I am of the belief that 134, I am not so much concerned for the Auburn and Alabamas of the world. I am more concerned for the Jack States, the UNAs, the Troys. There's 134 Division I college football teams right now. I don't see that number increasing. I'm seeing the opposite. Do you have that suspicion as well, Dan?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that this will be, certainly benefits the schools with the deepest pockets right now. And I think it's even more than that, right? Like Troy and Northern Alabama schools like USA, those kind of schools, they were never really competing for national championships in the same way. I think this is actually going to put distance between Alabama and Vanderbilt and West Virginia and Washington State and Oregon State and teams at the bottom end of the Power Four conferences. The gap in the amount of money that Alabama and Texas and Ohio State and Michigan have to spend versus even some of the teams at the bottom end of their own conference is massive. And if schools find a way to take advantage of that now that they're cutting the checks themselves, the end of this 5 or 10 years down from the road, maybe that the top 30 or so teams are so far removed from everybody else that they split off and do their own thing.
Well,
which I think would be too bad for college. It would ruin a lot of the unique nature of what college football is.
Well, when you look at it, the way the rules change as far as the marketing part of it, it's kind of like the Jets and the Giants and the major markets and the are going to have the advantage, right? Just like in the NFL.
And it's even more so, right? Because in the NFL, the Jets and the Giants share some of the TV money and the other money that they make with the smaller market teams.
Yeah.
And even the ticket money that all goes into a pool and everybody gets a small piece of it. In college sports, you eat what you kill in a lot of ways. And so if you're in the SEC or if you've got 110,000 people that you can fit into your stadium, you are going to make more money than your competitors, and you don't have to necessarily share much of it with them.
This is a great AMS here, Dan. I mean, there's just no other way to put it. It's
only one way to fix it, and I've said it the whole time. The Congress has to fix it. They got to get an exemption.
Well, we were following a round of golf that happened on Sunday, Dan, and we do have a sitting president that wants to get involved. And so at least that is some positivity, at least that I have, is that when you have the president of the United States who wants to get involved, I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, he certainly is interested. I think President Trump's been interested in sports at a lot of different times, and I would expect that. So it's not a huge surprise that he might take a keen interest in college sports. And I think if nothing else, so ultimately the president himself can't do a whole lot to fix the problems the NCAA has. He can't wave a magic wand to make their legal trouble goes away, but he can lean on Congress. Obviously, he's got a lot of weight to throw around, and his interest will spur interest from other people in Washington, D.C. And, especially with the settlement being finalized now and Trump taking an interest, there's probably as much momentum for something in Congress to happen, as there has. The NCAA has been asking Congress for help for 4 or 5 years, and they've gotten nowhere.
Yeah.
And right now, there's maybe as much momentum behind something actually happening as there ever has been.
I'm guessing you don't have any 10-day cruise plans this summer, Dan.
I wish I did. No, we've been waiting. Like you said, I've been waiting for 2 months. The past 2 months has been my time to go take a cruise. I think going ahead, there are a lot of interesting conversations to be had. I'm actually excited to dig in and start having them. All
right. Well, is there any points that we didn't bring up that you've heard in terms of talking points moving forward that intrigues you?
No, I think we covered a lot of ground. I think it's going to be based on how quickly can these schools get creative and mobilize ways to pay over the salary cap? Because everybody's going to do it, and I think we're going to be, the price for creating a championship football team is not going down. It's going to go up, and people are going to find ways to make that money flow, whether it's within the rules or if we're going back to the days of sticking dollar bills into duffel bags. It's going to happen. So it'll be fun to see how it unfolds.
That is preposterous. Let's round up the usual suspects. That movie line pops into my mind. But Dan, I always appreciate the time that you give us and this ever-developing story. I know I'll be in contact with you. Are you heading to Atlanta by chance for the SEC football media days?
To be determined. Hopefully, I'll be making the rounds at some point this summer. I may be down in Atlanta. Yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys down there.
Absolutely. I'll reach out before we head there to the ATL. Always good to catch up with you, sir.
Thanks, fellas. Appreciate the conversation.
That is Dan Murphy from ESPN. So the first checks will be cut for these athletes, not saying student athletes, for these athletes on July 1st. And I wonder if we're going to get our first Title IX lawsuit on July 2nd. I don't know, but that seems to be inevitable. They're coming forward, rolling down this story. So, as I mentioned off the top, watched a lot of hockey last night, and the third period turned into an all-out brawl. And so much so that I from time to time that I enjoy listening to Whiskey and Wine or Tony Basilio. So I had an urge to listen to Edmonton Sports Talk Radio this morning. And this is how their morning show, keep in mind there's a little screaming here, so just be careful. All right. This is how the morning show started up in Calgary, not Calgary, but Edmonton this morning.
6:04 on the Nielsen Show. It's 2-1. It's 2-1.
And what is the series?
It's not over yet.
Well, it's what?
It's a Stanley Cup final. This is a Stanley Cup final. If you thought it was going to be easy, you're a fool.
It's hard.
You're a fool. It's hard.
It's hard.
Anybody who predicted Oilers in 6, it's still alive. RCN is saying he's feeling awful gentlemanly.
Well,
which could be the reverse gentleman sweep. Going the other way. We probably won't have a show about that.
A gentleman sweep, too, is letting the opposing team win one in their own barn.
I did like you trying to make a case for a 6-game gentleman sweep. Look.
So that was Edmonton Sports Talk Radio this morning. Even so much that the other guy was their update guy. They have a weekly segment on the program as well, and that turned into a little bit of a thing. But Nolan Kaiser, who has his jersey number retired there for the Huntsville Havoc, he is going to join us on the other side of our first time out. We'll talk a little hockey to see what this is all about on the other side.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
Eagle Masonry and Insulation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. Their locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
Flying nonstop from Huntsville is a breeze on Breeze Airways. They're nice people, flying nice people to nice places on really nice planes. Let's be direct. Nonstop from Huntsville to the places you want to go. Las Vegas, Orlando, or Tampa, starting at $49. It's time for a weekend getaway or a long overdue week away. Time to check in using the convenient Breeze app and check out. What are you waiting for? Book today at flybreeze.com. That's flybreeze.com. Breeze Airways. Seriously nice.
It's an amazing time in our industry. Things are changing so rapidly. With digital signatures and workflow software, we help our customers work from anywhere. This helps you save time and money and upgrade your technology. Like I said, it's an amazing time to watch our customers grow and succeed.
Here in North Alabama, barbecue is a part of what makes our home so special, and great barbecue from Lawler's makes it just that much better. Since 1978, Lawler's has been serving up their delicious barbecued pork, ribs, chicken, ham, and turkey for generations of family get-togethers. Recognized as the best barbecue joint in Alabama for 2 years in a row, Lawler's is thrilled to share their award-winning barbecue for your next family meal or catered event. Order online or stop by any one of their 14 area locations. Lawler's Barbecue, cooked slow, served fast.
This segment of The Drive is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, located online at woodyAndersonFord.com with 2 locations, Hughes Road in Madison and Jordan Lane in Huntsville.
With you on the drive, certainly our next guest has heard this more than once.
Picked it out just for him.
Yeah, but that's well done. Has he hoisted up the President's Cup trophy, not one time, but 2 times. Also has that jersey number retired up above the ice there over at the VBC. Now a member of the front office is a Calgary, Alberta native, Nolan Kaiser. Talking a little Stanley Cup final with us. How are you, Nolan?
Great. What a intro. Appreciate it, Steve.
Of course. Well, to me, there was a lot to get into, but what was your takeaway from Game 3 last night there in Sunrise, Florida?
Yeah, I'm a little surprised at the score. 6-1 final for Florida there. But, obviously they split in Edmonton. You'd think that Edmonton would ride the wave of a little bit more into Game 3, but obviously Florida took care of business at home there, and they seemed to just agitate Edmonton enough to get them off their game, but they still kept going. So they're going to be a tough out, defending Stanley Cup champions. So they got it going on right now.
Where I was a little surprised to see, I not necessarily Edmonton getting physical in the second period, but the fact that they carried it over to the third period as well surprised me a little bit. Did it surprise you?
Not really, just because they're down. Usually in the playoffs, when games start getting out of hand, then that's kind of when, they try injuring each other, basically. So, yeah, it's a long series. You want to beat down on the other team, but I just think that, like go into the second period, it was 2-1, and then I guess Florida kind of got up to 4-1, and then it just was. You could sense that it was a little bit out of hand at that point. But they were. The thing is that Florida is a physical team, and they're always around the net, so they're gonna tick some guys off on Edmonton. And if they keep doing that, then it just keeps Edmonton off their game, and they just weren't able to kind of recoup and get back into it.
Do you think they'll be like? There was a horrible slash, I guess.
Oh yeah, broke his stick.
Yeah. Do you? Did they suspend anybody from the Stanley Cup for anything?
Not that I know of. Not that I know of. Who is the slashing on there?
Oh goodness! There were so many. It was late third period. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. It looks like you got a misconduct, but
I'd be
surprised. You have to do something pretty vulgar to get suspended in the playoffs. So if that wasn't vulgar enough, then what they're looking for.
From a mindset standpoint, from an Edmonton perspective, being the resident Canadian who's with us, tell me, do you anticipate Edmonton keeping this physical in the next game or reverse it completely?
I think they have to, because Florida's such a physical team. I don't think they can just outskill Florida. Florida's kind of got it all. They're physical and they can score goals. So, I mean, it's still, you're only going into game 4 and the series is 2-1. So you still want to be physical against the other team so that, when you get to game 5 and get to game 6, that, the other team's starting to wear down a little bit. And you can't just, change your game plan completely, especially in the playoffs. You have to be physical and kind of sacrifice, block shots and do all the other intangibles. But I would say the physicality you still have to be physical.
You telling me there is a possibility before the puck drops in game 4, we're going to see a throwdown?
I don't know about fights, because, the way that the game ended, last night, I feel like they got it out of their system. Now, when the game starts, they'll know that the refs are on high alert about who did what, and you can't carry that over into the next game because you take a couple bad penalties, the other team goes in the power play and scores. It completely deflates your team. So you can't be stupid out there. You just gotta let it go. It's just one bad game. Sun came up today, and they'll be back at it tomorrow. So there's a chance they can go back to Edmonton with the series 2-2. So that's where your mindset has to be.
And they would have home ice as well.
That's right. Yep. So they're still in a good position. But again, Florida is probably a little bit more confident now after a 6-1 win. They just can't get too fat and sassy after a big win like that, because on the other side you got Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. So they're always going to be dangerous, and they can win their team a game any night.
So I watched a lot of people who broke down the series, and that's the one thing they said is that the Panthers can play any way you want to play. You want to play skill, they can play skill. You want to play tough, you can play tough. And that's why a lot of people predicted that they'd win the series. So how many games do you think this is going to go to?
I would like for it to go to 7, because there's nothing really on TV that I like. But no,
you're not breaking down the NBA Finals for me right now.
Yeah.
Florida scored. They scored 14 goals in 3 games. So, and Edmonton is very capable of that. But the thing is can Edmonton keep the puck out of the net? Because are they going to go back to Skinner in game 4 or go back to Picard? Picard kind of filled in for Skinner there and went 6-0 to kind of take the series. You know, he filled in really well, but he's not really. He's kind of always been a solidified backup. So I don't know. I don't think that they would go back to Picard tomorrow, just because Skinner is kind of their guy, and you don't want to show any signs of weakness with, you know, switching things up too quick. So you know what? I would like for it to go to 7. I wouldn't be surprised if Florida finishes at 6, though. I think Edmonton can definitely get one more. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes Florida. They go up 3-1. Edmonton comes back 3-2, and then they finish it off in Florida. Florida's just such a good team, but it's tough to predict that far ahead. You know, anything can happen. One injury away from this series completely changing, so it's just tough to predict.
Again, from how, because we hear this ad nauseum down here of how long of a dry spell it has been for Canada. How big of a deal is it in Canada?
Oh, huge. Yeah. And I mean, obviously, like, I'm from Calgary, so cheering for Edmonton is a sin.
That's where I was about to go with you.
You know, I like McDavid. He's great for the NHL and for Canadian hockey. Obviously, he was the one that scored the game winner in overtime there against the United States in the Four Nations. I'm not sure if you recall that or not.
Oh yeah,
when Canada won there.
Right.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's just good for hockey, and you know, I always like seeing new teams win as well. And what Tampa Bay did there for so many years, they won a couple times there, and then all of a sudden Florida Panthers are right there, right? So maybe if Edmonton wins, then maybe Calgary will light a flame under Calgary's butt to get things done in Alberta to kind of match the speed of where the Oilers are at.
So you are rooting for Edmonton. You are rooting for Edmonton.
Maybe leaning that way.
We're going to rat you out.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I just like McDavid the most out of any of the players that are in the playoffs right now. So
yeah, he's fun to watch.
Yep.
Well, while I've got you, when do tickets go on sale there at HuntsvilleHavoc.com?
Well, I don't even know. That's not really my. I know they're going through renewals right now.
Gotcha.
The biggest thing was with Ticketmaster. We're just, you know, we've got a new ticket group, so we're working through how that's going to go, and then I'm sure, you know, I think season tickets are going on sale probably within a couple of weeks here. So yeah, for whatever's left, you know,
well,
they're going to have to cap it at some point. So
I would like to invite people that if they'd like maybe a business partnership, contact Nolan Kaiser, and he can help you out. And what is, I mean, how many sellouts in a row has this been, Nolan?
It's in the 40s. I know that.
It's crazy. But the hockey community here in North Alabama is just, it's so much fun to be a part of. And I know you've put the headset on a couple of times. I need to get your butt back up there and join me next year.
Sure. Yep. So I can carry you through the game.
Of course.
Yeah, he's heavy, isn't he?
I need all the help I can get.
No, Steve, you do a great job. And I know hockey's obviously not your first sport. So learning it and then calling it, you know, there's a lot of verbiage and numbers, and it's a fast game that it's not an easy game to call. So kudos to you for picking it up, and you do a good job. There's calling the Havoc games there for the last so many years. So kudos to you, man.
I appreciate that, Nolan, and I appreciate you hopping on. I thought it'd be fun to talk some Stanley Cup final. He is he's got his jersey number retired there with the Havoc, but now he is an Edmonton Oilers fan. He is Nolan Kaiser.
There's only 2 teams left, so I got to pick one.
Okay. Nolan, I always appreciate the time, sir.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Thank you.
It's Nolan Kaiser. For ticket information, you can head over to the website, HuntsvilleHavoc.com.
Steve's been training. He eats poutine in the off season. Gravy on fries.
I didn't know what that was.
Yeah.
I didn't know what you said. I was worried about it for a second.
I know what the 7 dirty words are. No,
That's helpful.
It's basically gravy on fries.
And I know,
and I'm here for it. My inner fat kid loves those.
A little more for Edmonton Sports Talk Radio this morning.
Weekly Confessions brought to you by Spectrum Rental, where they confessed understanding how the Oilers didn't show up last night. They also forgot there was a game. Get your landscape construction equipment at Spectrum Rental. They always show up.
Yeah, the NHL
That's gonna
playoff
be
schedule
all our
now is all
commercials now.
weird because they're staying in Florida, but they have to miss 2 games. And this
Yes.
is what happens when the United States of America television networks don't take your league seriously.
Well,
and you just have to play second fiddle because of the NBA.
Yes.
So
yes,
that's
Thank
but
you.
everything's great.
Putting that correctly.
But you still are just the NBA's stepson.
I thought it was a dying league.
Oh, goodness gracious. I just, there's something about listening to.
Some things are great in every language.
And,
Some things bring us all together, all of us communities together.
Well, and they did talk quite a bit about officiating, something that we talk a great deal about. How about faking injuries? That was a subject that was brought up.
This is more of a statement on the league in general, but I think the league might need to sit down in the offseason and have a talk about calling embellishment for a year or two to try to tone it down a bit. And every team is doing it. I'm not just saying it's Florida. He's saying, start calling just the embellishment
We've
side of
arrived,
it,
yes.
as opposed to the
diving. Let's call it diving.
Yeah.
We don't call it load management either, but it's diving. Yes. I'm finding it hard to watch hockey these days, Dusty, with all the amount of diving in the game. Right? Am I doing it right? Am I doing that right?
You are doing it right.
There is flopping everywhere. I mean, it is everywhere. It's not just in college football.
College football, I mean,
it's not just in college basketball.
Soccer's the worst.
It's not just in soccer. It's also in hockey as well. I just had the thought of, you know what? I want to listen to Edmonton Sports Talk Radio this morning just to because that was a beatdown by the Panthers last night, so much so that the Oilers were trying to beat down the Panthers
but it's
in a different way.
Yeah, but it's a lot different in a 7-game series versus just one game.
Mm-hmm.
To me,
did this cause you to tune in for Game 4 tomorrow night?
I like watching hockey, but I usually just watch the highlights. It's just so easy. I mean, if I, it's just so much going on during the week. On the weekends now, I like watching sports.
I don't know what it is about, and I know they just left TNT to go to ESPN, but those shows that I don't know who puts those talents together, be it for the NBA, for Inside the NBA, or what they do on TNT here with the Stanley Cup final, but it is just thoroughly entertaining and just fun to watch Wayne Gretzky and cast break down what they're seeing. And they were of the opinion in particular, watching a little bit of the post game round about lunchtime today, of whether or not if Edmonton could steal the next game, that would completely change this series. But I'm in agreement with Nolan Kaiser that Florida's the better team, that they are just a more versatile team, more complete team. But the best player is wearing an Oiler jersey. So
yeah, but
you got Connor McDavid.
Well, as they explained it on what I watched, is that in hockey, having the best player isn't always the deal, because they only stay out there for 35 seconds.
Exactly.
Or less. Sometimes.
Yeah. Those shift changes happen in a hurry.
So that there's things you can do to eliminate just one player. In hockey, it's a lot easier than other sports. That's what they said. I mean, and the people we're talking obviously know more than I ever know. So, but I used to watch. My sons played hockey.
So I think Connor would have been a fantastic.
He was good.
Hockey
he
player.
was fun to watch. Very fun.
Just the thought of Bonesaw on the ice is,
He already looks
pay-
like a bunch of hockey players.
Yeah. So So the first day
he could be a dead ringer for Billy McComb.
he was out there
Cats.
skating. I don't know. I mean, he's 4 or 5 out there. He started early.
Of course he did.
And he was skating. I go, man, where did he learn how to skate? And then Brian, he just ran right into the board, didn't check up. I thought he was dead.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Well, nobody taught him to
Skating's
stop.
great. Stopping is the hard part.
Yeah, exactly. I'll never forget it. It was like, oh God, he's dead. But he got right back up.
He looks like a young Billy McComb back from the Channel Cats days.
Okay. Yeah, you're dating me with that name. I don't know.
Only because I know him personally.
Okay.
But I mean, I went back and watched him, and he's doing construction now somewhere in Tennessee. But
Next year will be year 22 for the Huntsville Havoc.
so it's been a minute.
Yeah.
Wow.
How about that?
Yeah, it just
What was the team
those of
before
us
that?
who've been here a long time just
I-
think it's like that.
So the
but no.
team before that was the Huntsville Tornado.
right?
Before that,
That was a Channel Cats.
the Channel Cats.
But
yeah, Channel
yeah.
Cats.
I'll never forget. I was somewhere, I forget where I was, and I was watching the Channel Cats, and they were on national TV. Somebody went up in the stands.
Yeah.
One of the
Really?
Oh yeah, he was in there fighting with somebody in the stands.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish I knew who that was. He was a good
I
player.
don't know,
Yeah.
I don't know. Let me text Billy and see if he remembers.
Oh, goodness. You can always join in on the conversation at 256-576-4977 is the telephone number. And evidently, Nolan is already getting some messages about being on this very program.
Well, there you go. Thanks for
I-
listening, y'all.
So I did send a message to Edmonton Sports Talk Radio that I would be sampling some of their audio. And all I got was, we'll be listening. We'll be listening. So maybe it is someone from Edmonton Sports Talk Radio.
Hello to Alberta.
Yes. Yes. I've never been there, but
I bet it's cold.
but it's colder than it is here in Huntsville, Alabama.
Yeah, in
I've
the
always
summer,
wanted
I
to go to
can't
the
be.
Calgary Stampede.
Oh, have you?
And I've wanted to, yes.
Well, I imagine Nolan knows quite a bit about that, being from Calgary.
Hey, Nolan, call me back. I need some tips.
So there you go.
In the summer.
Did I play all of my Edmonton Sports Talk Radio? I believe I did. Them complaining about officiating was like, see, everyone complains about faking injuries or inducing a whistle or
Yeah, but
whatever.
Do they play Three Blind Mice?
Wow. Wow. You're really going to go there with me.
Hey, man, nothing but love, brother.
Yeah.
Three Blind Mice.
Let's see whether or not I can get suspended from another sport. Let's go ahead and take our final timeout. Rest of the way belongs to you, including a surprise visitor at the top of the hour as well. We'll be back.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
John Abraham here from The Blitz. Look, I love a good party, so why not join me on June 27th at Bobcat of Huntsville as we celebrate their new location on Highway 20 in Madison, right beside Redstone Harley-Davidson. I recently got to check out their massive 13,000 square foot location, and I was amazed. Don't just take my word for it. Come on down to Bobcat of Huntsville and enjoy the day from 10 to 3 p.m. Food, fun, and a whole lot of door prizes will be available, so don't miss out as the Blitz will be live on location June 27th.
Hey there, everybody. Bob Baumhauer here, letting you know that we understand that times are tough and we truly believe value matters. So, by popular demand, we brought back our Inflation Bites menu featuring scratch-made meals that will make the whole family smile and your wallet too. Menu items start at just $7.99 and any entree comes with a free beverage. Try our classic tailgate burger for just $8.99 or our hearty Bam Bam chicken platter for $9.99. Baumhauer's Victory Grill. Legendary fun, legendary food.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at Your Home Window Company. When it comes to replacement windows, exterior doors, or new window screens, Your Home Window is the answer anywhere in Huntsville, Athens, Decatur, or Hartselle. Your Home Window windows and doors are made here in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. When replacing those old windows or doors, Your Home Window has the solution for you. In-home estimates are always free and financing is available. Learn more at yourhomewindow.com and see clearly with Your Home Window. Visit yourhomewindow.com to make an appointment today.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes. Our company, Fleming Roofing and Restoration, specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth-generation Huntsvillian, and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough. We can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything, and we can offer you a solution to repair it or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters, and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey, Wes, we show up.
Your Fox 54 weather brought to you by Tellini's Italiano.
Temperatures drop into the lower 60s as we head into the overnight, early into your Wednesday morning. Wednesday afternoon actually looks quite nice. Plenty of sunshine across the area. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s, making a pretty solid run at 90 degrees, dropping into the mid upper 60s as we head into the overnight. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Your Fox 54 weather only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings beginning at 7 a.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN and the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app.
It is a Tuesday here on the drive. Walking up to Braves baseball. How about those Bravos? Winners 7-1 last night, but still the Braves, they were up 3-1 going into the 8th. And in the 7th, they showed Raisel Iglesias warming up in the bullpen. So I proceeded to look at my wife and go, all right, time to rally. Time to rally here. We're only up by 2. But to tell the rest of the story, like Paul Harvey used to, Raisel came in with a runner on 1, 2, 3.
Well, there you go.
I mean, well done, Raisel Iglesias, coming in, taking care of business. On the mound tonight, Grant Holmes on the mound tonight for the Atlanta Braves, who are now 28-37. It is game number 66 for the Atlanta Braves. Road game number 35. The Atlanta Braves, as they are 28-37 overall.
How many games they play? 165?
162.
Oh.
162. And we are headed to the ATL for SEC Media Days the same week as the Major League Baseball All-Star Game, and you'll be able to hear it.
2 years in a row.
This is 2 years in a row. They were in the Metroplex last year, and they opened up the doors the day after. That was a nice little tour. that we
Yeah, do you
had.
think we'll get a tour of Atlanta Stadium?
They'll probably do the same thing.
Think?
I think so. Yeah, probably.
That'd be.
I've seen it. But, nothing wrong with the dime
I've
tour.
been to the bar next to it.
Oh, yes. Scores. Yeah.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We've done a show from there. You don't remember? Yeah. Yeah. That front little area. We did a show from there.
God, when was that?
It's been a while. But yeah, we were
for what?
SEC, the SEC football championship weekend.
Oh,
that was
that's a long time ago.
Long time ago.
Yeah, I do remember that now.
College Game Day has selected where they will be week 1. Remember, we were kind of having a little fun with Reese Davis and this is Lee Corso's last stand as a part of the College Game Day crew. And I mean, it's really nothing we were kind of hoping it might be his alma mater in Florida State.
That would have been good.
As Alabama takes on Florida State.
That'd be a great place to go.
But instead, they are going back to where the headgear was introduced, and that is in Columbus. They are heading to
that's a good game too. What is it?
Hook them, and the Buckeyes, Texas and Ohio State. So you're going to
blame them for that.
Yeah, you really can.
No,
it is one of the more highly anticipated games of this upcoming season. So it will either be a Bevo headgear or whether or not he may go with Brutus one more time in terms of that headgear for Lee Corso. But College Game Day announced it. I did reach out to Reese Davis to try to get him on. Reese told me he was hopping on a plane to, well, I didn't ask him, where he was headed to, but
the well-traveled Reese Davis.
Probably maybe something to do with the U.S. Open. Who knows? As that is getting ready to crank up as well. But nonetheless, College Game Day heading to Columbus, and so not going to Tallahassee for the Florida State-Alabama game. But, I mean, honestly, Florida State was just a train wreck last year, so there really isn't.
Well, I think they'll be better.
There's only one way to
go.
I
know. I think
you would think there's only one way to go. Boy, if they're still heading south, then
I think Gus will bring them some.
The old Gus bus.
Yeah. Because that league hasn't seen them yet.
But I mean, there's plenty of tape on.
Well, you can watch all the tape you want
on the old Gus Malzahn offense.
Yeah, but you have to watch tape of different teams using the Gus Malzahn offense.
Well,
not with the current players.
But what do you think?
That makes the difference. I'm telling you.
But what do you think we're going to see? I know there's at least
triple reverse pass.
Triple reverse pass.
We've not stopped it yet, though. We have not stopped it yet. If we stop it this year, I'll be so. It's they run that tight end down the seam. He's open every time. They throw it around back there. You're going hard and get him, and next thing you know, tight ends run down CYBO.
It's like Mama always made pecan pie at Thanksgiving. Every Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Because it always works.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. That's a good point. Yeah, the triple reverse pass. I'm not looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, scoop of Mayfield ice cream on top.
It's coming, though.
It is. We know it. We know for a fact that it is coming.
That was the weirdest. Well, I say this because I don't know how much information we got. It seemed like he quit the Central Florida's job to become the offensive coordinator at Florida State.
Yeah.
But that's not what really happened. He was let go.
He was about to, they made it seem that way because they were about to let him go.
Right. But I was surprised.
Well, they started out 3-0 last year.
They got Scott Frost back, didn't they?
They did.
So there you go.
They did.
That's
And that's when everything fell into place. And they beat Auburn, led by Gus Malzahn, there at the Peach Bowl for their undefeated season, hence the banner there at the Bounce House down there in Orlando. So anyway, that's coming. Alex Scarborough penned an article today at 247 Sports about Ryan Grubb has a Saban-like intensity and work ethic that is second to none. And diving into more of the personality of Ryan Grubb and how he is the perfect running mate with one Kalen DeBoer. And there is a lot of numbers to back it up, and a proven track record that Kalen DeBoer does have in terms of success with Ryan Grubb. So we'll see how everything works out this year. I am of the opinion that Alabama is set up for a big-time run this year, that they, especially defensively, looks elite, at least on paper. So we'll see how that translates for year 2 for Kalen DeBoer.
I think they're going to have a dynamic offense. I really do. They have a lot of really good receivers. I think the quarterback, he's the best passing quarterback of the two. He is a good athlete as well. Not, he was a number 2 dual threat quarterback when he came out. Maturity's the reason he didn't play, and that's what I worry about. A guy donated a bunch of his NIL money back to the university. My hat's is, it's going to be interesting to watch. That's for sure. Yes, it does.
A lot of the early,
it wasn't a little bit of money, Brian. It was a lot of money.
A lot of, oh yes,
Hey Wes,
a lot of money.
Give you any mine back.
Hey, we got to get a Maserati.
Hey, I got a hungry ex-wife to feed.
And a lot of her.
Oh, wow.
Hey.
I don't know. I've never seen her. I was wondering the way you said it.
I'll tell you some stories. Hey, she comes from oil field family. She can throw a punch. Shoots good too.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Is Sports Center. I'm Nick Kalutka. Mini camps underway across the NFL, and Aaron Rodgers was on the field as a Steeler for the first time. 4-time MVP, signing his one-year deal after a few months of waiting. Says this week was the right time to put pen to paper.
I was dealing with a lot of things in my personal life, and some things improved a little bit where I felt like I could fully be all in here with the guys. I had a great conversation with Mike throughout the entire process and Omar. But it's good to get that done and get behind us.
Rodgers hitting the practice field. T.J. Watt not joining him, skipping mandatory minicamp as he looks for a new deal in the final year of the 4-year, $112 million extension he signed back in 2021, making him the NFL's highest-paid non-quarterback at the time. Watt's got 108 career sacks, 6th most among active players. 30 of those coming in the last 2 years, second in the league, only behind Bengals edge rusher Trey Hendrickson, who also did not report to minicamp as he looks for a new contract today. In Major League Baseball, a couple of games getting going. The Tigers own the best record in the league entering play today. They're 43 wins through 67 games already, their most since 2006 when they won the pennant. Visiting the Orioles, Baltimore has struggled this season but have been much better of late. Tigers up 1-0. Winsell Perez with a second-inning sac fly. Brant Herter starting for the Tigers. Cade Povich going for the O's tonight. Tigers even on the money line on ESPN Bet.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman, and coming up Wednesday, Adam Schefter told us he's not a fan of trading compensation for coaches. I'll tell you if I agree with Shefty's take. It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
97.7 ESPN The Zone. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
Hour number 2 rolls along here on a Tuesday. We've already heard from the likes of Dan Mert. Oh, wow. Yeah. Need some headphones in here. My apologies there. As running on the fly here. We good? Good? You good?
See, this is radio made fresh every day.
Mm-hmm.
Ingredients coming right in.
Nothing wrong with a little more Gap Band.
Well, you know, if your board op was even good at this job, even great.
I was too busy fetching our next guest down there. That's what I was doing.
Hopefully, to save us to keep us on the air.
Sam Fleming here with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. How are you, Sam?
Doing good. How are y'all?
Doing real well. It's boy, this last, feels like about a 5-6 week window of just crazy weather.
Yeah, tons and tons of rain and wind and hail and tornadoes and
Awful for a roofing company.
yeah, you know, wait there. I'd take just a little at the time if we could get it like that, you know. But,
spread it out a little bit more.
Yeah, spread it out. Yeah, it's been surreal to see how many people need roofs lately. So I mean, we'll handle it.
So basically, a tornado went over us, the downtown area.
Yeah,
and
over my house
area.
Yeah, we've pulled up the map and tried to kind of track where it went because, you know, I live on Montesano and they confirmed that was a F1. But if you draw a line out to Killingsworth, I don't know if that wasn't the same storm. You know, I mean, they said that was a F2, and F1's not real big, but the trees on Montesano are huge. I mean, it's just huge trees down. I mean, it's pretty surreal up there, and it was kind of one of the nicer things about what we do. You know, because people really needed our service, you know, at the time. And I don't mean like, you know, replace your roof, but, you know, all our guys, I'm really proud of them. They came together and, you know, we helped a lot of people out. We took generators of people that needed, you know, didn't have electricity and were on oxygen. And, you know, we did a lot of tarps and stuff. So, you know, you see a lot of people out there sending text messages from Georgia and Tennessee, you know, do you need a roof? We were out there actually kind of making a difference. And that felt really good. And the people in Montesano, you know, I'm sure it was like this everywhere, but, you know, they were out of power for a week. I mean, crews up there, David Little, our city councilman, did an awesome job of getting all the, you know, resources up there. I was stunned with the resources we had. And, you know, just a community effort. I mean, people were helping neighbors for weeks, you know, pulling trees down and limbs and, you know, trying to relocate some people. And, you know, it was kind of when you're in a business, it's not always a heartfelt, you know, good guy kind of. It's just a good feeling, you know, seeing it
Right.
all happen.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
Well, it's part of being a part of a community.
Yes.
Yeah,
You
the
know,
community.
and you guys are totally invested in the community.
Yeah, you know, it really it kind of you know, the longer I'm in this, I really think the more you can make yourself about serving others, it really helps your business. I mean, I think that here too. I mean, me and you knew
Absolutely.
each other.
Right.
But I mean, like, you know, you're a pretty good friend now. I mean, you cut up all the time, and you know, I mean, I'm grateful to be a part of all this. You know, so yeah, it feels good to actually serve somebody in the midst of doing your job.
100%.
I did not realize. I saw some pictures of Green Mountain, and that area looked like it got cleaned out pretty good too.
Yeah, I haven't even had a chance to really talk to most of our guys about where they're seeing all this damage. I know we're doing one on Green Mountain tomorrow, so maybe I'll get a chance to see that. But they've just been so busy. We're just trying to keep up with the workload, and it's been a lot. So
in terms of are you hiring right now? I mean,
well, we just hired a guy on Monday, but yeah, that was kind of a different circumstance. So, but yeah, no, I mean, we're handling everything. I mean, it'll die down. It's slowing down a little from the first initial 2 weeks. People are starting to get their insurance claim paperwork, and we're getting that sorted out. And so we're just now kind of getting people on the schedule as they're, approved and whatnot. So we're just trying to get as many people taken care of as fast as we can, because we're anticipating that it's going to be a while for some people, in a couple of weeks or a couple of months,
because it looks like weather conditions aren't clearing up anytime soon.
I don't believe anything the weatherman says. If Bob Barron's listening, he probably agrees with me.
Hey, Brad Travis still ain't got his boat out. It's gonna be rough.
Bob was good friends with my dad, and I got his little weather app, and I was on the porch when the tornado hit Montesano, and I was telling my family, like, you don't need to be worried unless I'm worried, and it looks like it's going north of us. And then, like, I saw the winds coming around the corner of the house. I told him to get in the bathroom, and my daughter's just freaked out. And the golden retriever must understand me too, because it stayed in there for 3 hours underneath the sink.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It only came out when you came out?
Yeah, now they don't believe anything I say anymore. Not that they ever really did, but I was like, yeah, it's all going north. And 5 seconds later, all hell broke loose. So,
man, it came right by my house as well. But I was at my mom's house, right below you when it hit.
We've got and there
was leaves, part of the trees and leaves everywhere. I mean, every square inch. It was nuts.
Yeah, my neighbor across the street is getting his roof done.
Okay.
And he had a couple of big limbs come down from his backyard.
Yeah, the trees are a big deal. We had a few. I mean, there's one house on Montesano. I mean, it's total. I had 3 trees, and then I looked at the neighbors next door, and the trees blocked the hail. So it's like total devastation here. Then you're good.
Right.
So it's kind of funny how that works out. But yeah, trees when they fall,
it's sad.
So the first thing to do would be call the insurance agent.
Yeah, insurance companies, they usually have a really good, like the tree vendors that they prefer. And, a lot of times those guys will actually tarp it. If they don't tarp it, we can come out and tarp it for you. And sometimes it's just a little hole. Sometimes you need rafter work and all. We can do all that. So sometimes if we can get to it fast enough, if it's just a small hole, we can do the repair probably cheaper than doing the tarp.
That'd be the restoration part of Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
We're definitely doing a lot of restoration right now. It's not just all roofing for sure.
Well, I know a lot of people appreciate the work, and it's a case where I know this is everybody kind of trying to get back to some version of normalcy.
Yeah, it feels like it's inching that way. I mean, we got summer coming, 4th of July coming, so yeah, it's going to take a while before all these are run, but yeah. So,
well, I had read as well that this supposedly is going to be a very volatile hurricane season as well.
I say that every year.
They do that. I think that's going to increase the price of materials.
Yeah, they say it every year.
It comes in July every year.
And some years they're right.
Yeah, they time that shingle price increase pretty well.
Yeah, they always do, don't they?
Well, they're all sponsored by shingle vendors and plywood vendors.
Right, and we always get asked, when is it going to go down? And I'm just, never. I've never seen it go down.
They go down for like a month, right? When nobody needs it. And then the next month.
I don't even think they do that. I think they just keep riding it so they don't have to increase it twice when they hit you again in June, July. Yeah.
Well, Sam, how do we get in touch with you?
All right, yeah, you can call us at 256-651-9440 or online at FlemingHSV.com.
And again, if you're happen to be driving right now, FlemingHSV.com. And just so Tom Abraham may be listening, It's 1M, not 2. 1M, not 2.
Well, and I want to thank you for all you do for the
Yes.
community. People don't
Yes.
realize what all you do. I do. We're in there trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
And I see what all you do. We try to support you in everything as well. I know you support us, and we really appreciate the partnership.
Appreciate y'all.
Let's go ahead and take our one and only timeout. Walking up to Braves baseball right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
John Abraham here from The Blitz. Look, I love a good party, so why not join me on June 27th at Bobcat of Huntsville as we celebrate their new location on Highway 20 in Madison, right beside Redstone Harley-Davidson. I recently got to check out their massive 13,000 square foot location, and I was amazed. Don't just take my word for it. Come on down to Bobcat of Huntsville and enjoy the day from 10 to 3 p.m. Food, fun, and a whole lot of door prizes will be available, so don't miss out as the Blitz will be live on location June 27th.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Have you ever turned your back on God? Have you ever absolutely known the right thing to do and just turned around and walked away in disobedience? I know that I have. Aren't we thankful for our great and merciful God who loves us and forgives us and remembers our sin no more? I'm so thankful that his mercies are fresh every day. I need that, and I suspect you do too. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of Cross Point Church, and if you're looking for a church home, come see us. We're smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison, and check us out at cpcfamily.org.
Where's the best place for sports? What about the best place for wings? If you answered Jefferson's for both, you're right. Jefferson's is also a great place for value. Every Monday, kids eat free with the purchase of an adult meal, and teachers bring your teacher ID, and you eat free every first Tuesday of the month up to $15. And Owens Crossroads, Jefferson's will be opening a new location at 326 Sutton Road very soon. Jefferson's, best place for sports, best place for wings. Hampton Cove, and soon in Owens Crossroads.
You've seen those beautiful epoxy floors in a garage or carport area and have probably wondered, how can I get that done? Well, the answer is Lifetime Epoxy Floors. Lifetime Epoxy Floors is an A-plus rated business with the Better Business Bureau and has been family-owned for over 14 years. They do both residential and commercial applications and get most jobs done in a day. Lifetime Epoxy Floors' motto is, we love what we do, and it shows. Visit LifetimeEpoxyFloors.com to schedule a free estimate today and check them out on Facebook.
The Blitz with Joe Hunk and John Abraham. Weekday morning starting at 9 a.m. on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Always enjoy Sam Fleming from Fleming Roofing and Restoration hopping in. Again, if you just want to schedule an assessment, if you happen to see some neighbors getting their roof done, FlemingHSV.com. Coming up on Monday, the the Woody Anderson Ford Rocket City Awards presented by the Huntsville Sports Commission comes up on Monday.
Third annual.
That's right. We will air it over the airwaves, and as soon as we are done, we will join in progress Game 5 of the NBA Finals. But that comes up on Monday. Some awards feature the North Alabama College Team of the Year, Coach of the Year. Certainly the Billy Neighbors Lifetime Achievement Award will be honored as well. Pro athlete from the area as well. Your high school's Team of the Year and Athletes of the Year. If you'd like to come to the event, it is over at Mars Music Hall here in downtown Huntsville. The best thing I can tell you, head over to our website, 977ESPN.com. On that slider is a place to email us here, and it is 977WZZNevents@gmail.com. Again, 977WZZNevents@gmail.com. But if you're driving right now, just head over to the website and take a look at it, and away you go there.
We'd love to have you come help us celebrate some of these great athletes here and coaches too. Right here in the Tennessee Valley.
That's right.
It's one of the best parts of our job is come celebrate these people that just really excel.
Well, and there are several categories. I've been working on the program that I've done every year, and with help from our fine folks over at Minuteman Press. And there is, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different categories where we had to do 4 nominees rather than 3. There is
too many choices.
Exactly.
Too many choices.
It's exactly what
an embarrassment of riches
that we have here in North Alabama.
Well, I'm really proud of this. I really don't have much to do with it like you guys do, but the job you do is incredible. The picking of the athletes, all the research doing, seeing Scott writing all the things today and being so excited about it. And just everybody, the teamwork that goes into this is really special. And nobody's done anything like this.
Needed to be done for a long time.
And y'all came up with the idea. You guys actually, this is the 3rd year.
That's right.
You absolutely awesome the way y'all pulled it off every year. And
you know how we like a party.
Yes, we'll do anything for a party.
But it is gaining a little bit of traction in terms of there are certain times if I'm doing a UAH basketball game or a Madison Academy football game where people come up and say, hey, this could be award nominating. So it's starting to pick up a little bit of juice in that regard of people chattering about it, even when it's not award season. So to speak.
And just so happy that the people that are sponsors that sponsor this and they love Huntsville and they love North Alabama and they do a lot. They do a lot of good things, and we just thank them for. Without them, we couldn't put it on because it isn't cheap.
A big thank you to Woody Anderson Ford. Woody Anderson Ford is the presenting sponsor, the title sponsor. The presenting sponsor is the Huntsville Sports Commission. So a big thank you there. But
and also thank you to our friends over at WHNT 19.
That's right. They'll be streaming it.
If you want to be able to watch it while you listen, they'll have the stream on their website.
Also, Talent Heating and Air, a big sponsor of the event as well, along with Baumhauer's Victory Grill, Thompson, as well as Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Thompson Tractor.
Thank you. As well as Samples Property, TOC, Cross Country Mortgage, Handles Ice Cream. I may have to test that out. As well as SportsMed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center.
Thank you so much to our sponsors.
Yeah,
and you hear these names, and these are people who would love to step up and help the community. And
please support those sponsors. I did want to end before we head off to Braves country. as the Braves getting ready to take on the Brew Crew. There has been a story.
Is it Zebra Watch?
There has been a story north of us, and I'm glad to say Ed is no longer on the loose.
All good things must come to an end. Just ask Ed. The escaped zebra had been running around Tennessee for a week before he was finally caught. But local residents weren't exactly cowering in their homes in fear.
We joke a lot, he has went viral. So
Mandy Moats told WTVF Ed got loose from his stable and went on the run with trackers hot on his trail. The zebra proved to be elusive. When local resources failed to bring him in after nearly a week, his owners reportedly called in a team from Texas to track him down, trap him with a net, and then airlift him to safety.
Safety.
Viral.
Zebra Watch.
Viral. But
And then
especially,
flashbacks to Panda Watch
I'm
from Superman.
trying to think of that phone call, and to find this specialized team from Texas that had to come to Tennessee.
Yeah, I'm just glad it wasn't hunting season.
Can't hunt horse.
Oh yeah, you
That's
can.
zebra.
Oh, you shouldn't.
Hey, there'd be some redneck, right? And
Well,
he said he
actually-
went to Africa and got it.
Well, yeah, but
Hey.
these are our people, and they will go, hey, there's a zebra loose. Yeah.
It has been funny to follow on Facebook of people sticking zebras. I don't know how many friends in your world have done it, of just
I didn't know
randomly putting zebra posts on
Well,
their
that wasn't that
Facebook
long
wall.
ago. Somebody had kangaroo loose.
That's right. Yeah, that was down around Auburn.
Right.
Yeah, that was. So we've got
And then we got alligators
kangaroo
showing
to
up
the
here.
south of us. We got zebra, and then reports of what
Alligators here.
in Huntsville.
Well, that's 100%. Now that's been, they put somebody at the Arsenal 50 years ago thought it'd be a good idea because they're having a beaver problem to put alligators, thinking they wouldn't live through the winter. Not the case.
These are redneck alligators.
Well,
And they'll survive.
well, all alligators are redneck alligators. Think about where
Redneck
they
alligator.
are. Yeah.
The country alligator can
Do you not
survive.
follow Florida Man? I mean, places.
Yeah, you get one of the three sections of Florida, that Leonard Skinner part of Florida. Yeah, that's Leonard Skinner and the Bellamy brothers. They're all from North Florida.
Ed the zebra no longer on the loose.
Godspeed, sir.
Yeah. Have you seen him getting airlifted as well? There's video of that. Oh, it's fantastic.
Where did they end up catching him?
I don't know.
I just can't
I don't
believe
know
he's
that.
not on a mantle somewhere.
No, they airlifted him.
I got you, but I'm telling you,
there's-
there's hunting season. Somebody had
There's
horns on him.
There's a Madagascar joke in there somewhere, but I really. That's going to wrap us up here on a Tuesday. Braves baseball comes up next.
For better or worse.
Yep.
Get your antacid out.
Yep. A lot of that.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.